Adam, it's all my fault. I shouldn't have sold the thing.
That's right.
Look, Adam, let me talk to Mr. Grace. Adam, listen, I'm not going to let you go in there. Adam!
You sold my painting to be used for an advertisement.
Adam, when I buy a painting, I dispose of it as I see fit. It just happened that I knew they were looking for something to represent stomach distress. I'll give you something to represent stomach distress.
Walt Disney, creator of the new motion picture 101 Dalmatians. And Handy Wrap, the clear new economy sandwich wrap for lunchboxes, present tonight's Michael Shayne.
Get the message? They're all talking about Walt Disney's new Technicolor motion picture, 101 Dalmatians. It's an especially unique Disney cartoon creation that's as modern as a poodle's pompadour and as exciting as a howl at midnight. Witness the biggest dog napping in history. Meet the exotic beauty who runs the racket. And see her hilarious henchmen match wits with the best brains in dogdom. What's up, Colonel?
No time to explain. I'm afraid there's trouble. Come along.
Yes, come along to comedy, mystery, and suspense in the most fantastic Walt Disney feature of them all. See 101 Dalmatians. It's a hilarious, full-length, all-cartoon motion picture for you.
Is Mike in? I got to see him. Yes, but... Mike, I'm so glad you're here.
What's the trouble?
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Was Adam in trouble?
He's in jail.
What now?
It's really my fault. I shouldn't have sold the painting without telling him. But how did I know that Grace would turn around and sell it to an advertising agency? I'll never forget the look on Adam's face when he saw his painting in that upset stomach ad.
Stomach ad?
Yeah, and it's a wonder he didn't kill Graves instead of just beating him up. And now they're holding him down at the jail, and I've got exactly 17 cents.
How much is the fine?
I should have known Graves would use the painting to hurt Adam. He's hated him ever since they studied in Paris together. $25.
Now, come on, Tusa. Don't worry. We'll have him out in no time.
Oh, Mike, Adam.
Thanks a lot for paying my fine, Mike, but I am not budging.
Adam, be reasonable for a change.
I'm going into that courtroom. I'm going to have a jury trial. I'm going to let the whole world know what that chiseling Graves did to me. And if they don't give me a good conduct medal for working them over, I'm taking it to the Supreme Court.
All right, look, we don't blame you for being sore. But staying in jail's no good for you. It's no good for Dusa.
It's the principle of the thing. Has an artist got any rights or hasn't he? Thoreau went to jail for what he believed in. Mahatma Gandhi went to jail for what he believed in, didn't he? Okay. What's good enough for them is good enough for me. Guard! They're leaving.
Well, we did our best, Dusa. You know how Adam is when he's standing on his rights.
Maybe he's better off in jail. They still eat regular.
That bad, huh? Of course, he won't take a job.
And he won't let me take one. Says it'd be a reflection on him.
You know what Adam needs is someone who can stake him until he begins to sell his paintings.
That type isn't easy to find.
Wait a minute, Mike. You just gave me an idea. Do you know Vincent Rinker?
You mean the guy with the passion for saving money?
He's also got a passion for modern art. Has a couple $1 million worth already.
Oh, he sounds lovely.
He's an oddball, but I did him a favor once, and if he still remembers me, maybe I can interest him in helping Adam.
Well, it's certainly worth a try.
Deuce, you get me one of Adam's best paintings, I'll do what I can.
I'll sure get your painting, Tim, but I can't guarantee it'll be the best one. They all look alike to me.
Come on.
Yes?
Good morning. I'd like to see Mr. Rinker.
Whom shall I say is calling?
I'm Tim Rourke from the Miami Tribune.
Mr. Rinker's rather busy. I'll have to find out if he can see you.
Thank you.
Come in.
Tell him my business will only take a few minutes.
I'll have to clear it with Miss Eiler first.
Miss Eiler?
Yes, she runs this house nowadays. Mr. Rourke?
That's right.
I'm Claire Eiler.
Nice to know you, Miss Eiler.
It's, something you wanted Mr. Rinker to see?
Yes.
Rourke, I don't believe I'm familiar with your work.
Oh, I'm not a painter. I'm a reporter.
Oh?
This was painted by a friend of mine, Adam Quick. I was once able to do Mr. Rinker a small service, and I was hoping that he'd do me the favor of at least looking at this. May I show it to him?
I'd like to see it first.
Oh, of course.
Well, you see, Mr. Rinker has such a wide variety of interests that he finds it necessary to have a cultural advisor like me to screen any possible purchases.
Oh, I see. Here we are. You like it?
It's a nice awareness of paint quality.
Oh, Adam's a good painter.
There seems to be a studied rejection of dynamic equilibrium.
Oh?
Hints here and there of technoid bravura.
What's the asking price on that smear? What's your cut, Claire?
This is George Rinker.
Hello?
Mr. Rourke of the Tribune.
Cousin Maud tells me you're getting rid of her. One down, one to go. Only I'm going to be hard to lose.
I gather he doesn't share his father's enthusiasm for art.
His enthusiasms wouldn't interest you, Mr. Rourke. They're unprintable. Won't you come with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Vijay, you remember Mr. Rourke?
Rourke? Newspaper man? Tribune, wasn't it?
That's right, sir.
Well, I'm glad to see you.
Thank you, sir.
You know, Clara, this young man got the truth printed for me once, and I'll never forget it. It's nice to see you, Rourke. Can I do something for you?
Yes, I have a friend who's a painter.
Well, haven't we all? What is your friend's name?
Adam Quick.
Quick. May I see the painting?
Yes, sir.
How does it strike you, Claire?
It's basic conceptual strength, Vijay, but, it's somewhat tyrannized by excessive vocality.
How do you like it?
I like it, sir, but I couldn't tell you why.
Well, if your Adam Quick is so good, why isn't he represented by a gallery?
Well, Adam isn't the easiest man in the world to get along with, sir.
That gives us one thing in common. You have him come around tomorrow afternoon. See?
Yes, sir. He'll be here. Thank you very much, Mr. Rinker.
Goodbye.
Thank you, sir. Bye. I'll find my way out. Thanks very much, and goodbye again.
Claire, don't stay so far away.
What's troubling you?
George.
Oh.
My dear son and cousin Maud have agreed that you're part of a scheme to fleece me.
I do feel sorry for Maud. Her leaving is so unnecessary.
I don't understand it after 20 years in this house. Suddenly, she accuses me of treating her like a poor relation. Of course she is.
George was much too outspoken with that reporter. We're not going to let him spoil things, are we?
I'll handle George. Don't forget, it's the money that comes from me that allows him to lead this ridiculous life of his. Sometimes I wonder if it wouldn't be better if I let him swim by himself.
I've never heard of anything like it. Throwing a man out of jail when he wants to stay in.
Should be glad you have friends like Tim and Mike.
Well, how's somebody supposed to make his point about injustice if they keep throwing you out of a crummy cell? Where would Thoreau and Gandhi have been if somebody was always paying their fines? You moved.
Well, I ought to start supper.
Now look. Go away!
No way!
Doozer! Woman!
Don't go away. I'm coming. I'm coming. Hi there.
How are you?
Hi.
How are you?
So how have you been?
Hey, is Adam here?
Yeah, come
We're
on
good.
in.
Where is he? Come on, Adam. Hey, Adam.
Oh, thank you.
Are we interrupting anything?
Only inspiration. Say, did Rinker like the painting?
He sure did. And his cultural advisor said it had basic conceptual strength, whatever that means. Right, Tim?
That's right.
It's hog slosh, that's what it is. What'll he pay for it?
We didn't go into that, but he wants you to come to his house tomorrow afternoon.
Adam, how wonderful.
great?
Well, why can't Rinker come here?
Oh, now, wait a minute.
Isn't he impossible?
What am I, a house-to-house peddler?
Adam.
Well, okay. We'll do it this once, but I'm opposed to it in general principles. Hey, what's all that?
Look, we haven't had any good veal scallopini since the last time we were here, and it's all here. Now get busy, huh?
Bill Scalzini, coming up.
And the veal.
Oh, thank you. Come on, sit down, sit down. Will you make yourself something?
Look, Franz, I'm as anxious to close this deal as you are. Yes, the merchandise is here. Don't worry, it's safe. Now, how about later? Oh? Well, tell Pootsie business before pleasure. She sounds delightful. Well, the gallery closes at 9. How about 9:30? Good. Hello, George.
Graves, you're not going to get away with it.
I'm not trying to get away with anything, as you so crudely put it.
You know what I mean.
No, I don't.
The new will you've conned my father into having drawn up.
Well, there was no pressure from me.
You've worked through that Eiler woman. Nobody will be able to sell those paintings, and you'll be drawing $25,000 a year as director of a museum that doesn't even exist.
George, your father is anxious to guarantee the continuity of his collection, and it's a far better way to spend the money than your tawdry philanthropies. Now, wait a minute. The people in the gallery will call the police, and you'll wind up in jail. If you take my advice, you'll take a quick course in art appreciation.
Newport filter cigarettes, a hint of mint makes a difference. So fresh that you'll know the difference. They're soft, smoky, they're fresh, tasting. So keep your pleasure fresh. Keep smoking Newport filter cigarettes.
Here's a story about a cigarette that's sure to please. Keeps you smoking fresh and friendly as a southern breeze. The hint of mint in Newport refreshes while you smoke. Refreshes, refreshes, refreshes while you smoke. Are there any questions, man?
So keep your pleasure fresh. Keep smoking Newport filter cigarettes. Newport filter cigarettes. Newport filter cigarettes.
wash the dishes.
Throw 'em away, woman. Can't you see I'm full of love?
And full of what? Oh, you ever think of this in your painting?
Well, what else is there?
It was a nice party.
It's too bad that Tim and Mike had to leave so early.
Adam?
What?
If Mr. Wrinkle pays you enough for your painting, there's a lovely furnished apartment here, but...
No. I don't want a lovely furnished apartment.
Why?
Well, first of all, it was bad enough that we got married. But to conform to that kind of morality, that's highly immoral.
An apartment isn't immoral.
Well, that is your opinion. Secondly, it's the beginning of slavery.
Slavery?
That's right, slavery to non-essentials. You said yourself there are only two things in life that matter to me. Well, you were right. I'm not going to lose sight of either one of those by letting my life get cluttered up with a lot of things I don't need.
We can't go on living here.
Who says we can?
What's that?
I don't know.
Mr. Adam Quick?
Yeah.
The sign here, please.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
What do you suppose it is, Adam?
I got a pretty good idea.
What does the note say?
Dear Mr. Quick, careful reevaluation of your canvas has convinced Mr. Rinker and myself that it has no place in the Rinker collection. Further, at this time, we would not be interested in seeing more of your work. For future reference, all of Mr. Rinker's purchases are made through his authorized agent, Mr. Paul Graves, of the Graves Gallery. Sincerely, Claire Eiler. Paul Graves. First it was his stealing all my ideas at art school. Then selling my canvas to that advertising agency, and now getting in the way of my Rinker dealings.
Where are you going?
I've had as much of Paul Graves as I could say.
Adam!
Ready, Mike? You bet. And am I hungry? Oh, I'm gonna get a steak that thick. Uh-oh. Mike Shayne speaking. Yes, Dusa. Yeah? Yeah, I know where the gallery is. All right, I'm leaving right now.
Adam again?
Yeah, I guess we should have let him stay in jail. Look, I'm sorry I kept you so late. You'd better get that steak by yourself.
Okay.
He's dead.
But you were sore.
But sure I was sore. When I read that note, I couldn't think of anything but smashing Graves.
All right, now take it easy, Adam.
So you went to do it.
Yeah, when I got there, I found somebody else that beat me to it, that's all.
Are you sure Graves was dead when you got to the gallery?
Mike, that's what I was bending over to find out when somebody hit me from behind. The next thing I knew, you were there.
And you didn't see or hear whoever hit you.
No, whoever it was came up in back of me.
All right, you can go for now.
Mike, look, I know it's a... Wait a minute, will you? I know it's not much of a story, but so help me. I didn't kill that guy.
Okay.
Listen, I'd appreciate it if you and Tim looked after Dusa, huh? She's a great kid, but, She doesn't have much of a sense about practical things.
Okay, Adam. Now, don't worry. I'll get in touch with you pretty soon.
Okay.
Well?
Oh, I don't know.
I had a doctor examine him last night.
And?
No indication that he'd been hit.
Still, that's a pretty thick head of hair he's got.
Yeah. This is the weapon that crushed Graves' skull, and there's only one set of fingerprints on it.
Adams.
Mm-hmm. I know he's a friend of yours, Mike, but you've got to admit it looks bad.
I know. Using this just doesn't make sense. I can see Adam rushing in and beating Graves to death with his fists, but using this just isn't like it.
Well, there's no predicting what a man will do if he's angry enough.
And another thing, Adam is no liar. If he killed Graves, he'd be proud of it. He wouldn't make up some story that he got hit on the head.
I'd lie to stay out of the electric chair, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I suppose so. Guess you've got Graves' gallery under guard, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Would it be all right if Tim and I had a look around?
Sure, go ahead. My men examined it with microscopes. You won't find anything.
You know, I learned something from Adam. What you see in a picture depends on the guy who's looking at it.
So Adam came in, saw Graves there, bent over him, and pow. Where do you suppose the guy that hit him was hiding?
Plenty of possibilities. Must have been pretty dark in here, too.
Hey, Mike, whose anguish is this supposed to be?
Probably the guy who'll have to pay for it.
What's in there?
His office.
Pretty nice.
Studio and living quarters, too.
What are we looking for, Mike?
Anything that'll lead us to someone who had a reason to kill Graves.
Adam had a pretty good reason.
No, now you're supposed to be on my team. Here, since you can't own the original, maybe you'd like this.
$12,000. That's not anguish, that's pure pain.
Want to check those files over there?
Sure. Graves have anybody working for him?
No, he operated alone, except for a student that helped him. Tim, does the name Franz Toth mean anything to you?
Toth? No, why?
Graves had an appointment with him last night, 9:30.
Well, if Toth kept that appointment, they could sure tie him in.
How about checking with the art critic on your paper? See if that name rings a bell.
We don't have a regular art critic anymore. A young police reporter named Demarest has been covering the exhibits. I'll ask him.
Homicide to art. Must be a versatile guy.
Yeah, he sure is. Mike.
Looks like a personnel file.
Mm-hmm. Such nice personnel. There seem to be actresses. Well, well.
Hey, pretty nice, huh?
It's more than nice. That's Claire Eiler, cultural advisor to Vincent Rinker.
Not again. What's wrong? Something leaked. It's the pickle.
This pickle didn't leak.
How come?
Grace found this new clear stuff to wrap lunches in. Won't leak. Sandwiches taste better, too. Don't dry out.
That's right. Clear new Handy Wrap won't leak. Handy Wrap does make sandwiches taste better. Handy Wrap really locks in freshness. Watch. I'm pouring scalding hot coffee into this cup lined with handy wrap. Imagine what would happen to ordinary sandwich wrap. But with handy wrap, there's not a hint of a leak. Handy wrap locks in freshness. Keeps sandwiches so fresh you can make them the night before. Giant 100-foot roll wraps 100 sandwiches, yet handy wrap is economically priced like wax paper. Yes, you get 100 feet of handy wrap economically priced like wax paper.
Handy Wrap, product of the Dow Chemical Company.
You know me, Claire. I can be very nasty.
Your father would never believe you.
Maybe not. But you spent a lot of time with Graves.
Whatever time I spent with Mr. Graves was strictly business.
Hey, you know that, and I know that. But would my father believe it?
I'm warning you, George. Don't try to come between your father and me. Yes.
Miss Eiler, there's a Mr. Michael Shayne to see you.
I don't want to see anyone.
He says it's urgent. It's about a Mr. Graves.
All right.
She'll be right out.
Thank you. Miss Eiler?
Yes?
I'm Michael Shayne.
Mrs. Henshaw said it was something about Mr. Graves.
I'm representing Adam Quick,
The man who killed Paul.
who's accused of killing him.
Won't you come in here? You're his lawyer?
A private detective.
Oh. Well, I don't see how I can be of any help.
You sent this note to Adam last night.
Oh, yes. When I returned the painting.
Did you write it at the request of Mr. Graves?
Mr. Rinker and I both liked it at first glance, but on closer inspection, it revealed its essential vacuity.
I see. You have a very unusual job here, Miss Eiling.
Not as uncommon as you might think. Mr. Rinker didn't have a chance to develop a cultural background in his youth. He was too busy building the Rinker fortune. Now, in his leisure years, he wants to develop culturally. And he needs guidance.
Now, I suppose you've had a lot of experience in this field.
Mr. Rinker seems satisfied. Now, if there's nothing else.
You know, you look exactly like an actress I used to see on television.
What are you suggesting?
That you look like her.
Oh, that's impossible. I don't claim to be unique, but what I look like or what I don't look like won't help you clear your client. If you really want to do that, why don't you find someone with a reason for killing Mr. Graves?
For instance?
For instance, George Rinker. Goodbye, Mr. Shayne.
Goodbye, Miss Eiling. And thank you.
Claire? Claire? Maud said we had a visitor, Mr. Shayne. Did I miss him? Is he gone?
Yes, he's gone, BJ. Come on in. There's something I want to talk to you about.
Can he see anything at all, Mrs. Henshaw?
Only very close up. He refuses to admit it, so we all pretend that he's not losing his sight.
Hello, Rinker. How are you?
Look, Shayne, say what you came here to say and then get lost.
All right. How's this for a starter? Claire Eiler tells me that you had some pretty good reasons for getting rid of Graves.
That's her story. We weren't exactly arms around the shoulder chums, if that's what you mean. How would you feel if you were next in line for $3.5 million and someone like Graves conned you out of it?
Sounds like he was trying to get your father to change his will.
He was ready to do that. For sweet culture's sake.
Well, Maybe he'll forget about it now that Graves is dead.
There's still Claire Eiler. And she pulls a longer oar with my father than Graves ever did.
From what I hear about you, Rinker, that money wouldn't have lasted you very long anyway.
I just ran out of answers, Shayne.
Goodbye.
Please, Mike. You've got to do something to get him out of there.
Come in.
Mike, this is Joe Demers, the fellow I told you about.
Hello, Joe.
Oh, and this is Dusa, Adam's wife.
Hello. Sorry to hear about your husband.
I see you've already met Lucy.
Yes, indeed.
Tim tells me you're quite an authority on art.
I dabble in it.
Dabble nothing. He wades in it up to his neck.
How'd you get interested in art, Joe?
In college. I heard it was a snap course, and before you know it, I was hooked.
He tell you about Toth?
Toth's a shady dealer in all kinds of artworks.
That sounds promising. Police record?
No, but plenty of close calls. He plays a sort of international hopscotch.
1 month he's in Italy selling Renaissance bas-reliefs. The next it's Chinese figurines from the Tang Dynasty in Hong Kong.
This month he's in Miami.
Yeah, got in yesterday. He and a friend checked into the Seacrest. As of 15 minutes ago, they were still there.
Friend?
Yes, sir, and wait till you get a load of her.
This is a triangle, a shape used down through the ages in construction of all kinds because of its strength and rigidity. And now this time-proven triangular pattern of stability is used in a new and unique way in a great new car, the 1961 Oldsmobile. The twist resistance of the triangle shape is engineered into the 61 Oldsmobile's rear suspension at each end of the guard beam frame. Formed by the axle and two stout steel links, this twin triangle rear suspension extends its stabilizing angle of influence over the whole length of the car. Twin triangle stability means you go steady in the 61 Olds, enjoying the full benefit of coil springs at all four wheels. Try Oldsmobile's exclusive twin triangle stability. See your Oldsmobile dealer and test the best. Take the wheel. Drive a 61 Oldsmobile.
Bonjour, mademoiselle. Où est Monsieur Toth?
Oh, that's good, sugar. That's real good.
Merci.
Wait. Can't find what's your name in French. So what is it?
Shayne. Mike Shayne.
Hi, I'm Pootsie.
Pootsie?
Won't you come in?
Thank you.
Can I fix you a drink?
Oh, no thanks.
I think I could get along all right in Paris, don't you?
I'd say so.
I had some records to kind of help me, you know, but France smashed them just because I said the guy's voice was sexy.
Where is Mr. Toth?
My favorite phrase is passage à nouveau.
Oh, you mean passage à niveau?
Yeah, that's it. Who'd ever think that meant grade crossing? You're not a cop.
No.
I didn't think you were. I can always spot a cop. You know, the way some people can tell when it's going to rain. Say something to me in French and see if I can get it.
Aidez-moi.
With an A?
With an A.
Okay. Aidez-moi. Help me. Oh, you're cute. Franz, somebody to see you. He's in the shower.
Oh.
You know, we travel all over, but I never get a chance to talk to anybody in any language.
Yes, monsieur?
Oh.
And who are you?
I'm Mike Shayne. I got your name through Paul Graves.
Pootsie, why don't you practice inside there for a while?
Sure. I was going to take a bath anyway. This book's giving me a headache. Well, au revoir, mon amour.
Au revoir, Pootsie. Quite a student.
Yes. Tragic thing about this friend Graves. The dealer's life. It's risky. These temperamental artists.
You must have seen Graves just before he was killed.
What are you talking about?
You had an appointment with him last night at 9:30.
Well, if you know that, you also know I didn't keep it.
Didn't you? I checked the cab stand on my way up here. The taxi driver who took you from here to the gallery waited for you and brought you back.
All right, I was at the gallery. In fact, I barely managed to get out the back way when you arrived. But I did not kill Graves. He was already dead. The other man was lying beside him on the floor.
Were you there to buy or to sell?
What difference does that make?
Right. You'd rather I phone the police?
Wait. I was there to buy.
And what was Graves selling?
I do not know. He was very secretive.
Now, you wouldn't have come to Miami without knowing what was here.
I was here to buy. And the merchandise was genuine. That's all I know.
Who was Graves representing?
I do not know.
Was it Vincent Rinker?
I do not know.
I understand you're pretty good at the disappearing act. Don't try it this time.
What are you two doing here?
Seen Toth yet?
Just left him. What do you know about him?
I got there first. He had an appointment with Graves last night.
No.
Come on, Will. He had an appointment at 9:30 and Graves was killed at 9:30.
So Toth had an appointment and he says he kept it. It's not enough to pick him up.
You were plenty quick about picking up Adam.
Toth can verify Adam's story about being knocked out.
That still doesn't clear him in my book. If you come up with something better, let me know.
All right, Will. Be stubborn. But if I were you, I'd keep an eye on Toth.
I intend to.
Tim?
Yeah, Mike.
What about Joe Demarest? How are his scruples?
Adjustable.
Tell him I want to see him. Right away.
Right.
Sure you know what you're doing, Joe? If we get caught, this could be pretty sticky.
Tim told me to file my scruples. I did. Let's go.
I couldn't sleep. I thought I'd get myself some warm milk.
Shall I get it for you?
No, thank you. I'll get it myself.
Gotta risk it. Can't see in the dark. What do you think?
The forgeries, Mr. Shayne. Very well done, but fakes. The whole bunch wouldn't bring $1,000.
What about it, Ann?
Yeah. Graves was a wonderful copyist. I remember when we were art students in Paris, he used to earn bread and cheese money selling copies of the Mona Lisa to tourists. I never was any good at that. I couldn't keep from improving the originals.
Joe, no chance you're mistaken.
They're good copies, but anybody who studied modern painting wouldn't be fooled.
Something just occurred to me. Did Rinker ever have the originals?
He had them a year ago.
What makes you so sure?
I dug that out of the morgue. It's a story of the open house Rinker held last year. You can see that there were dozens of art experts there. Any one of them would have spotted a phony.
So sometime in the past year, the originals were stolen and the copies put in their place.
Rinker'd never know the difference. He's almost blind.
Yeah. What about this woman who's his cultural watchme-caller?
No, I don't think she knows enough about painting to spot a forgery.
That's why Graves had that letter sent to me. Don't you see? He knew if I ever went to that house, I'd spot those paintings as fakes.
Could a guy like Toth sell the real paintings?
Sure. The Rinker collection is by artists who haven't been dead long enough to be completely cataloged.
Maybe this guy Toth killed Graves.
I doubt it. He wouldn't hang around Miami if he hadn't.
How about Claire Eiler?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say Miss Eiler had a lot of questions to answer.
All right, I'm a phony. But I didn't have anything to do with stealing those paintings. My job was to promote VJ's interest in the artist that Graves represented.
I tried to tell you about her.
Shut up, George.
I'm sorry, VJ. I'm just another actress that didn't make it. I couldn't see that anyone could get hurt. What was I doing? Playing another part?
Where are the original paintings now?
She said she had nothing to do with the theft, Shayne.
You can't take her word for anything now.
I think I know when Claire's telling the truth.
Sure. That's how she fooled you all these months.
No. In 3 days, I knew she had no art background. But then I didn't care.
Mr. Shayne, isn't it possible that the paintings have already been sold?
Yes, it's possible. But Toth's arrival in Miami the day of the murder makes it more likely that Graves waited until he had them all to make a deal.
Did you talk to Toth?
Yes, I'd say there are 3 possibilities. The paintings have either been sold, the person who killed Graves has them, or they're still in the gallery.
Surely the galleries have been searched.
Yes, by myself and by the police.
I think we'll leave it up to the police to get the truth out of her.
George, if you call the police to arrest Claire for taking those paintings, I'll say they were hers.
VJ.
I'll say I gave them to her for a wedding present.
You're not married?
No, not yet. We will be soon.
So you don't know where he went?
That's right, sugar. Hi, bonjour, mon petit.
Bonjour, Putzi. Well, now, how did you two ever get together?
Toth gave my man the slip by using her as a decoy.
Remember, sugar, I told you I had this talent for spotting cops.
I remember.
Well, this one really set the old alarm system jangling.
Yeah, well, it's just a question of time till we locate Toth. He won't get out of Miami.
Ha! I bet the devil will be saying that the day he finds out that Franz skipped the premises.
You must have been right about him, Mike, or he wouldn't have tried to bolt.
Sugar, don't you think I'm being taken advantage of? I mean, my rights. I mean, what did I do? Is it against the law to play hide and seek with a policeman?
Vagrancy?
Yeah, vagrancy. Turn her over to the matron.
Passage à nouveau.
Passage à niveau.
What was that?
A private joke, Will. Tell me, have you still got a 24-hour watch on Graves' Gallery?
Yeah, why?
I want you to do me a little favor.
What kind of a favor?
Now, take it easy. Come on, sit back. That's it. Now, here's what I want you to do. Tim, take a good look at this.
Anguish?
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike. Familiarity breeds nausea.
Notice anything?
No.
This must have been taken when Anguish was first exhibited. Since then, something new has been added.
Something new?
Mr. Shayne. Mr. Shayne. Oh, I've been looking for you everywhere, and finally your secretary suggested that you might be here.
Well, what's the matter?
Well, it's about Claire Eiler and the paintings. I really didn't know what to do. I didn't think I could talk to VJ, Mr. Rinker, and I didn't want to go to the police.
What's the trouble?
Well, I'm no eavesdropper, but I picked up the extension in the kitchen to call the market, and she was on the line.
Miss Eiler?
Yes, she was talking to a man with a foreign accent.
Toth.
She said that she knew where the paintings were, and for him to meet her at a drive-in restaurant just off the Venetian Causeway.
When?
At 11 o'clock.
We haven't got much time, Mike.
Oh, I do hope I'm doing the right thing.
Stand where you are. Now get back. That's fine.
You're a long way from the Venetian Causeway. And Miss Eiler.
I don't want to hurt anyone. I've flown halfway around the world at considerable expense to pick up some merchandise. And I don't intend to leave without those paintings.
On your feet. So Toth killed Graves for the painting.
One thing's certain. He wanted those paintings, and he knew they were somewhere right here in the gallery.
But where? Hey, Mike, what are you doing? That cost $12,000, remember? Oh, what do you know? What tipped you off, Mike?
That photograph that was taken earlier. Graves had that plaster cylinder made up and then added it to Anguish. And you gave him these original paintings, didn't you, Mrs. Henshaw? And you didn't know that I was here from Lucy because she didn't know it.
Well, I had it all so carefully planned. I gave him the originals and he copied them.
And then you hung the copies in Rinker's home.
That's right. I trusted him. I was going to give him half of all the money we made. And then he laughed at me. He said that I would have to take whatever he wanted me to. Well, I wasn't going to be cheated again. Not when I was so close to getting my own back.
Your own?
Whose money do you think paid for all these paintings? My money. The money that VJ's father swindled from mine. Do you think that I've always been a servant? Once VJ's family were the poor relations depending on our charity. I was only setting things right again.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Henshaw, but...
Stay back! Drop it! Take it away. Get back.
Those paintings won't do you any good now, Mrs. Henshaw. You can't sell them.
I can wait. I'm a patient woman. I've waited all my life.
You hear it, Will?
Heard enough. Come along, my friend.
Oh, it isn't fair. All these years. I've waited all these years.
And they really did get married.
Mm-hmm. So now Claire's not a cultural advisor, she's a wife. She doesn't advise, she commands.
Mr. Rinker's older than she is, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, of course, personally, I think that can be an advantage. I mean, some of us women are just naturally attracted to more mature men.
Well, naturally, it's those Social Security benefits that do it.
Oh, my.
Now, come on, get back to work.
Mike, hi, Lucy.
Hi.
Guess what? Adam sold a painting.
Well, wonderful.
That's great.
Well, I better keep my eye on this dealer, you know. I can't afford to get too successful.
Is that a new purse, Deuce?
A present from Adam.
I got it for her instead of a furnished apartment.
And what's that?
Mike, nobody can set a price in dollars and cents for what you did for me. So I want to give you something that's worth more than money.
For me?
Your portrait. You got a hammer and nails, Lucy? Listen, I know just a place for it.
Sure.
Well, may I?
It's the way Adam sees you.
That's what frightens me.
2 seconds. Now a man's deodorant. New Gillette Right Guard. 2 seconds give you 24-hour protection. Dries instantly on contact. Only new Right Guard, the power spray deodorant, can give you complete protection. So fast, so conveniently. Not this, messy creams you have to rub in. Not this, gummy roll-ons that waste time. Not this, hit-and-miss sprays that drip. But this, push-button power spray, ease and speed, cool and refreshing. And Right Guard dries on contact. It destroys odor-causing bacteria, checks perspiration, gets right through for complete coverage where odor begins. So remember, with new Right Guard deodorant for men...
2 seconds, give you 24-hour protection.
Get Right Guard today at a nearby store. Just 89 cents. Another Gillette product, Foamy, the cream of all instant lathers, regular or menthol.
Here are some exciting moments from next week's Michael Shayne mystery.
I didn't do it. I loved her.
Let's go.
You know what I admire most in the world? A man who's strong and gentle.
Tonight's Michael Shayne was brought to you by Walt Disney, creator of the new motion picture 101 Dalmatians, and by Handy Wrap, the clear new economy sandwich wrap for lunchboxes.
Now on sale, a new Mike Shayne mystery. Read the book and see the show.
This has been a 4-star production.